Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. It's gonna be a very chatty one today. Knit and chat. I've got my Dagmar jacket here I'm gonna work on while talking if I can multitask. We will see. But the topic today is my 1 year of knitting. So it's currently September. This video will likely go up in November, but this month is officially my 1 year of knitting. I don't remember the exact date, but it was definitely September, and I've been feeling very reflective about it, and I thought we could go through everything that I've made chronologically to see my growth and just talk about each of the projects, what I thought about them, the yarns, etc. And yeah. Grab a project, grab a beverage. I've just got water because I know my mouth's gonna get dry filming this video, but I am excited. So for some context, start with that. I had been crocheting for about 3 years prior to learning how to knit. Absolutely loved it. I love the fibre arts as a whole and I love the community, and I was determined to learn how to knit because I felt like I had not mastered, but I had, learnt a lot of crochet, and I was quite confident in my crochet abilities, and I wanted to learn more, and like intuitively the next step was to learn how to knit, and so I did that. I just learnt from YouTube, and I had knit maybe a handful of times when I was a lot younger, when I was a kid, but didn't remember much at all, and I had only ever knit using straight needles, so it was a big learning curve, but as you will see I have progressed hugely and I honestly love knitting so much. I have done a few crochet projects in the last year, but I've been mostly knitting because I just love it, and if you don't know how to knit you should definitely learn. It kind of changed my life, but that's a whole different topic. So let's start with my project number 1, which is this. If you guys have been watching my channel, if you're an OG, I actually vlogged this a year ago. So I haven't even weaved the ends because I have never ever worn this. It's probably salvageable, but I don't really like the yarn. I don't really like the project as a whole, but however, it was perfect for a first project in my opinion. So I haven't even shown you yet, but it's essentially just like a sweater rectangle. It's got a little bit of neck shaping, but it has no like upper back shaping or like arm decreases or anything like that. It doesn't even have a collar, as you can see. But I essentially, I knit this bottom up as well, which I don't think I've done since, but it was fantastic to learn because I was essentially just knitting in the round up into the armpits, and then I split the front and the back, which was definitely quite difficult as a beginner, but I learnt so much from it. And yeah, I think I do believe in doing a more daunting, bigger project as your first project because it's honestly the best way to learn, and I feel like knitting a scarf or something like that is firstly more boring, but also you don't really learn as much. Like a sweater or something similar has a lot more components that you will need in later projects, and it was fantastic to learn everything. And even though it was a bit of a struggle, it was great. And even looking at this now I can see some like twisted stitches and stuff like that, but it was honestly great. And this took me like several weeks to make. It's quite an open gauge too, and I just used some mill ends to make this, so I don't even know what the yarn is, but it's like a variegated rainbowy sort of colour. I can't even knit while I'm talking because I'm showing you the thing, but maybe later on. So once making this, I was honestly like kind of sick of it by the end, and I wanted to do like a real project I wanted to follow a pattern, learn how to read patterns, because I feel like in knitting especially it's a lot more important to know how to read patterns, whereas in crochet I feel like I used to freehand a lot more stuff. So I wanted to learn the basics of how to knit by doing this, and then I wanted to learn how to read pattern. So I ended up picking the Novice Slipover by Petite Knit, and I made this in an Abbey Road yarn from Spotlight. It's variegated. I do enjoy the colours, but this project honestly is quite heavy, and especially for where I live it's just like not that wearable, but I did learn a lot from it. So I learnt how to do, actually it doesn't have any back shaping, never mind. I learnt how to do increases and decreases for the neck and the armpits, and I learnt how to do a folded collar, which was lovely. I love a folded collar, so squishy, so lovely, and I had never done one before, and so this taught me how to do that. And I believe the original pattern has 1x1 rib, but I did 2x2 rib, so it was my first modification, so to say, which I have been doing a lot of in recent projects, and I enjoy that I learnt how to do that, and like that it's okay to tailor it to your preference. I think I just did not enjoy doing the 1x1, especially as a beginner, so I did 2x2, and I do enjoy the look of it. So that is this one. I believe also all of these projects are in previous vlogs if you want to check that out, see me actually making it and my actual process. But yeah, that's project number 2. Next, my beloved Olga. So at this point I was getting more into making knitting vlogs, and I had discovered many other knitting fibre arts YouTubers, and one of them was Ribsy Bambi. You guys, if you watch my videos, you very likely watch her videos, but she was hosting a knit along for the Olga jacket and Olga sweater, and I was so keen to join, and I was quite confident after doing the Novice Slipover to do a cardigan. And this is what it ended up looking like. So the yarn is Bellissimo 8-ply. It's a superwash, which I was not very aware of when I started, and so yeah, the fit of this is very weird. It blocked hugely, like horizontally and not vertically, so I had to like frog some of the sleeve, and so the body is so wide and the sleeves are tiny, and it kind of looks a bit silly, and I think one day I do want to re-knit this to be a bit more wearable and just fit me better, but it's just not high on my priority list right now, and I do still wear it like probably at least once a week just like to work, but I'm not a huge fan of the fit, but I still enjoy it. And yeah, I believe the colours are called Burgundy and Apricot, and I really enjoy the combination. I got these at a local yarn store too, so I think that was one of my first experiences going to an actual yarn store that wasn't like Spotlight or, you know, a more retail sort of store. So that was fun. And yeah, I still have a lot of yarn left over from this actually, so I probably will reknit it to be longer as well because it is quite short. But yeah, I believe this took me around 3 months, and I have learnt that knitting is a lot more of a slower craft than crochet, but I do enjoy that, and I think it reminds me to slow down and reminds me that good things take time or whatever. This also was my first project knitting like entirely flat, and I learnt how to do a button band and do buttonholes, sew on buttons. I really enjoyed the process of picking out buttons. I think this project ignited my passion, my love for selecting buttons. I am growing a little collection of buttons that do not have a designated project yet, but I do enjoy buttons and I want to knit more projects with buttons. So yeah, that's my lovely Olga. Also featured in many vlogs because it took me so long to make. I'm not sure which project I made next. Don't exactly remember. I think this was the point where I started having multiple on the go, which I have learned that I do enjoy. So if you are a monogamous crafter, maybe you should try out having multiple because it's so fun. I love the variety, and I guess it's sort of like mood reading. Like I just knit and read whatever feels right, and I love that for me. So I'm going to show you my Sophie scarf next. This is her. This is also a little bit of a fail because, as you can see, this was the beginning of the scarf and then this was the end. So I made this with a yarn that I bought at a medieval festival, which was so fun, and I wanted a plain project to show it off. And I also only had, I think it was like 60 grams or something, 80 grams, I don't know, it was quite small. I did knit until the halfway point, like I weighed the yarn, but my tension just must have changed because I was running out, and so I had to decrease faster, and it just like doesn't match. And this is also a project that I would love to go back and fix one day, but it just hasn't been high on my list of priorities. But it's still fun, and I don't think I've ever like actually worn it like a scarf, but I think it's fun like on a bag or something like that. And I do really like the colour. The yarn is quite special to me. I think it's hand spun as well, which is lovely. Yeah. This was also my first time doing I-cord, which is a fun technique to learn. Next, I think this is project number 5, is my earth pullover. This is probably my most worn finished object. So this is the earth pullover by Ozetta, and so this was also my first time like branching out and trying a different designer that wasn't petite knit, which I have been wanting to do more of. I love her. She is perfect to me. The only thing is the yarn pills like really bad, and I don't know if it would be fine after a shave, like if that's just what I need to do or if it's just the yarn, but I just wear it anyway. Like it doesn't bother me too much. The yarn is Great Ocean Road Woolen Mills, which is like a very respectable mill here in Australia, and so I don't want to talk bad about them or anything, but I think it's just because the yarn is so soft, like that's just the nature of it. But yeah, I absolutely love her. Amazing. This also took me several months to make, but it's perfect. And this project taught me how to do half twisted rib, twisted stitches. You can see the pilling on this. I need to buy one of those electric depillers, but I just haven't. And when I wear like a tote bag or something, it rubs really bad on the shoulder area. So if you have any tips for yarn pilling, let me know. But yeah, I love her. I think no, I have nothing else to add. Never mind. Okay, so those are all my finished objects. The rest of my things to show are whips. So that just shows how slow of a craft it is, or how slow it is for me, but I'm completely okay with that. Like I so often see videos of like what I knit this year, and it's like 10 sweaters or something, and that's just kind of crazy to me. But maybe one day I'll be that fast. But I'm totally okay with my knitting speed right now. So firstly is what I'm working on now, my Dagmar jacket by Petite Knit, of course. I've been working on this for months. I'm going to knit on it while I talk to you guys. So the yarn that I'm using for this is by Ula and Leah. I have been asked a few times what the yarn is, and I don't think they're a very like big well-known yarn brand, but I think I saw What's Millie Making post about a sale that they were having, and I wanted to try their yarn, and it was quite a good price, and I'm so glad I did because it's really, really lovely. It's baby yak. It's 100% baby yak, which I think is really cool. I think knitting in this past year has also encouraged me to branch out and try more fibers. Like, I think whilst crocheting I only ever really used acrylic and cotton and maybe some like blended wool acrylic yarns or cotton wool, but this year I have tried like wool, superwash wool. My earth pullover is alpaca, 80% alpaca, 20% wool, and I've also got some like mohair projects on the go right now, and this baby yak, and I think it's so fun trying new ones. And even though I've tried quite a few, I still have like there are so many that I haven't tried that I would love to, and I just love the process, I guess, of picking out the yarn, the fibre, the colour for a project. I think it is really fun. I recently purchased some silk yarn, which I've never worked with before, and I'm excited for that. So yeah, that was just one thing to mention. But yeah, this is Baby Yak by Ula and Leah. It is undyed, which I do enjoy. I've discovered that I really like undyed yarn. I think it's just like there's something so special about the fact that this is like the natural, like this was on a baby yak however long ago, and it hasn't been like heavily processed. I think this yarn also, when you knit with it, you can like kind of feel the lanolin, and it has quite not strict, but it has quite like clear instructions about how you have to wash it with hot water. And I did test my swatch because obviously using hot water is a bit scary. Like, I don't want to felt and ruin my entire garment that I've been working on for months. But washing it and blocking it on my swatch, it sort of bloomed really beautifully, and like this is a little bit airy, and I feel like the washing process sort of makes it bloom and fill out those gaps and gets a bit more squishy, and I'm a fan. I think if all goes well in this project and cleaning it and blocking it, then I will very likely be using that yarn again, because it's been lovely to knit with, and hopefully will be lovely to wear, and it also will be nice and warm, which is fantastic. And I think this yarn is officially an 8 ply, but this pattern calls for a 10 ply, and once the yarn was cleaned and blocked and, you know, it bloomed, it was hitting gauge, which was perfect. Like, it sort of blooms to fill in those gaps, and so it could be used as either, which is great. It's a bit variable. I'm trying to read my moss stitch. So that's the yarn, and let's talk about the project itself. So this is my first ever cable knit, and it has honestly made me fall in love with cabling. I think it, like, from learning how to knit, it has always been so intimidating. I thought it would be really, really difficult, and honestly it kind of was at the start. Like, I think it took me 4 or 5 goes to knit my swatch because I just kept making mistakes and I kept frogging it. But once I confidently finished my swatch and was able to cast on this project, I have become so confident with cabling, and the further I knit into this sweater, the more confident I was. And it also taught me how to read charts, which also I thought would be harder. It's really not. I think if anything, I probably currently prefer a cable charted knit than stockinette, just because it's so much more engaging and like moreish to finish the, you know, the 10 row repeat, and it is lovely. Like, I think even though this is cabling, I am still so motivated to work on it and make decent progress. And I have also made some modifications to this pattern. Let me show you. So I will insert a picture, but in the original sample, the shoulders, like the body portion of the shoulders here has moss stitch, and then the sleeves are picked up directly from the moss stitch. And I think I have mentioned before in one of my other vlogs, but essentially I just don't love the way that it looks. And so what I did was add, hopefully you can see, I added a 4-stitch cable onto the end of the moss stitch. So I did the moss stitch as usual, and then the last 8 stitches are 2 pearls, a 4-stitch cable, and then 2 pearls. And so it's created this beautiful bordered edge, and I think it looks way more like crisp and finished than the original style of the pattern. And I'm really happy that I did that. And also under the arms, so like obviously it's meant to just be moss stitch all the way around from the front to the back, but I have done the moss stitch up to the cable, and then I've done, I think it said to cast on 5 stitches, so I'm just doing those 5 stitches in stockinette, and then it reaches the back. And so hopefully you can see. I'm a fan, and I think it's made the shoulder look like really nice, and there are no holes or anything, which I'm a fan of. And yeah, I sort of was able to confidently make that alteration from learning how to do it in my other knits, which is slay, honestly. This project has also taught me that I can do hard things. I can learn new things that I think are difficult, and I just have to put in the effort to learn, essentially. And I'm going to be tackling stranded colour work hopefully in the near future. I want to make the Harriet sweater, and the same with cabling. It is quite intimidating to me. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but at the same time I'm also confident that I'll be able to figure it out. Like, it will work out fine. I just need to like believe in my knitting abilities, and if I need a frog, it's not a big deal. And if you are also a beginner knitter and want to start doing those more intimidating projects, I think you should just go for it, because I did, and it worked out. It'll work out for you. You just need to practice, and yeah, getting better at knitting is literally just practice, and I think these projects can show that. Yeah, you just need to practice and keep going. And yeah, like me a year ago would absolutely not have believed that I am knitting this. Like, that's crazy. And like, this isn't all over cable, it's not even like the same repeat. So yeah, I think earlier on I wanted to make the sweater number 29 or sweater number 15, but that was like so scary to me, and I think I sort of chucked myself in the deep end with this, but it's worked out. And yeah, you should just go for it. It'll be fine. But yeah, this whip, I've done the yoke, the sleeves, and I'm just adding length to the body right now. Yeah, it's going great. It's taking a while, but that's just how it is. So yeah, let's move on to the next project. I've been yapping about this for so long, as you can tell. It's one of my favourite projects so far. Okay, next whip. We've got so many here. I think I've got 5 whips on the go right now, which is insane of me. But let's go through them anyways. So, this one I have been working on in some of my recent vlogs. It is, and it's so noisy. It's an off-gauge earth pullover for my boyfriend, my lovely partner. I'm using fingering weight yarn for this. It's just what he picked and it's fine, but it's taking so long. And honestly, I haven't worked on this in a little while just because I've been so focused on my other knits, but when I do work on this, it's a nice like mindless stock knit, and yeah, that's about all I have to say about it. The yarn is yin yang fingering weight in the colour So Forth, I believe. It's like a mild green yarn. I think it's really lovely. And I've done the yoke and I'm working on the first sleeve. So that is that one. I think I'm using 4mm needles for this one too. So it is a bit like airy, but not too much. So yeah. My next whip, honestly, I might frog this. It has not been touched for ages. But I think I started this when I had no whips and I just wanted to knit something and I didn't have like the yarn for my next project or something. But it is the very beginning stages of a raglan cardigan. And I'm holding 2 yarns together. It is the Manos del Uruguay something, I don't remember. It'll be in the description or on the screen. And Azea silk mohair. This is my first ever mohair project. I'm obsessed. Unfortunately, I think the mohair is really fun even though it's expensive. It's created this beautiful, stunning fabric, and I just wanted like a fuzzy, simple raglan cardigan. I don't know, now that I'm looking at it, it's like so pretty and I don't want to frog it, but I haven't worked on it for ages, so we will see. But I'm not following a pattern for this. I think I used the raglan like ratio from the Step by Step sweater, but the rest of it's just like go vibes. So that is that project. Second last project. You guys would have seen this one too, but this is the Mixed Rib Cami by Florence Miller in Knitting for Olive, Cotton Merino. I think this is Elephant Blue. It's lovely. This is my first ever summer knit, 3mm needles. I don't have much to say about this. I think I have just been working on this very slowly. I've been like taking it to work, taking it just in my bag when I go out because it squishes up so small and just, you know, doing slow progress. But I do think it's a really nice pattern and hopefully will be nice and wearable for the Australian summer. Yeah, this is my first ever like combination mixed rib project. I think the stitch repeat is really fun, and once I got the hang of it I was able to do it without looking at the instructions, which I love. Last project, this one is so exciting. So this is the Alani sweater by Pearl by Ray. This is my first ever test knit. I can't, it's so pretty. I've actually just finished the back yoke and I just picked up for the first shoulder, but I think I noticed a mistake in the chart, so I'm like waiting to hear back from the designer before I continue knitting because I don't want to knit the wrong instructions. But this is using, what is it called? Gilead. I'll have it on the screen again. The pattern suggests knitting for olive heavy merino, and this is like the exact same gauge as that, and I love the colour. It's like a beautiful rusty orange colour. So this is only 1 week of knitting, which is absolutely insane. I think I've been wanting to do a test knit for a while, but I have been like too worried about my knitting speed, my knitting capability or whatever. But I felt like I was ready, and I felt like this pattern was absolutely gorgeous. Obsessed. Like I needed it to be a pattern that was beautiful, and like you know, I just want to keep working on this because it is absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed, and that's what I need to be for a test knit. So I think it's 11 weeks, and so far I'm up to date, I believe, because the designer is like releasing parts of the pattern in stages, and so far I'm up to date which I am grateful for. I have been knitting for like several hours a day on this to keep up, but so far all good. But yeah, I've almost finished my first ball of yarn too. But yeah, I think this is obviously, it's a heavily cable project as well, and I'm just loving it. I freaking love cables, and I would love to, getting a bit vulnerable here, but I would love to design a pattern in the future. It's like a little bit of a dream to, it's like crochet, knitting, content creator to design a pipeline. Like that would be amazing. And I felt like the next logical step in my knitting journey to grow as a knitter, and also if I do end up designing something, I do need to test something because I don't know how it works. Like I've never tested anything, or I've never done a crochet test either, so I was really curious about the process of it and how it all works, and this honestly so far has been lovely. I was originally a bit intimidated by the whole thing, and like there's a group chat, and I feel like I'm sort of a newbie bit of a noob in this whole situation, but I am loving it so far, and everyone is so kind, and I think it's like I love and hate the deadline situation. Like as much as it is a little bit stressful to have to keep up with it, it also, like, it is forcing me to finish this project, and I know for sure that it won't be like lingering on the needles, which honestly I love. And I'm actually going on a trip at the end of the year, and I want to take this, and I know that I will because I don't have a choice which is so fun. So that is that one. And yeah, honestly I saw the designer posting about it before the test call, and I think it was almost like I just immediately knew that I wanted to knit this because it's absolutely stunning. It's due to the main cable. I think it's called staghorn cable, but it is reminiscent of like anatomy, like ribs, vertebrae, etc. And it's just stunning. Like the more cabling techniques that I learn, the more I've become obsessed with it. Like I think that there are just endless possibilities with cables, and I would love to design one day, but we will see. And yeah, that is actually my last project to show you. Let me grab my Dagmar so we can chat a little bit more. Overall thoughts from this wonderful year of knitting is, like, firstly, it is just so much fun. It's sort of, it has like given me something to look forward to every day, which has honestly changed my life just a little bit. You know, even if I'm having a bad day, I can go home and knit, and I know that I'm gonna have a good time. And I also like many other people, I find knitting to be very like meditative almost, because, well, I think there's like actual science behind it, but just doing that like repetitive motion is so good for your brain, and I love it. It's fun, it's peaceful, and I also love the like workmanship, the craftsmanship that, you know, comes from it, and I'm just obsessed. Like, I think I was definitely a big fan of crochet whilst crocheting, and I think knitting has just been even more so. The fact that I just love crafting and I love knitting so much, and I also love the knitting community. I think having this little YouTube channel has been such a dream. I appreciate your guys' support so much, and like just meeting other people in this space has been so much fun. And I've also met one like in real life friend, which has been lovely. Nicole, if you're watching this, Billy. But yeah, how many times have I said but yeah in this video? I was about to say it again. Essentially, I love the craft, I love the peace that comes from it, and I love the community. And if you're watching this, you probably knit or you crochet, but if you don't, you should 100% learn, because it is one of the best hobbies I have ever learned. And I love the fact that you can take it anywhere. Like, I feel like some other crafts are not so portable, and I love that you can knit in like most situations. And I don't know, even like a few times I've been visiting family or something like that, where, you know, it's family, like it's comfortable but it's also uncomfortable. Just, I don't know if that's just like my neurodivergent brain, but like being able to knit and keep my hands busy while just hanging out like makes me a better listener, and it makes me like more engaging with the conversation, even though I may not look like I am, like I actually am. And I love that for me. And it has also very clearly taught me that like I'm capable of learning new things, and like I feel like especially as I've gotten older, like I have lost that sort of childlike wonder, and like, you know, I feel like when you're a kid you pick up things so quickly compared to when you're an adult. And especially for me, like I feel like I sort of lost a lot of, I feel ridiculous talking about this. Like growing up, I sort of didn't have many hobbies. I sort of lost them as I like grew up in my teen years, because it like wasn't cool, or, you know, just some like dumb shit like that. But like becoming an adult and like getting that adult money has really like, and like adult freedom, obviously, like moving out was a big part of it. I just have more freedom to do my hobbies and like not give a shit about what other people think of my hobbies. Like, I love that for me. And rediscovering crafts like knitting is just such a joy, and it's just so much fun, and I love it. Love that for me. And yeah, and as you can see, I have like spent a lot of time knitting, and I think it really also it gets me off my phone, which is obviously a good thing. And yeah, just like, I think overall, regardless if it's knitting or not, I think having hobbies is so important to me, and like it should be important to you too, because it just keeps you busy and it keeps you you know, it keeps your hands and your mind busy. It keeps you off of those like toxic social media stuff. Like, obviously I still spend some time on social media, like I do love a scroll, but I think I need to do it less, and I am doing it less than I was, but knitting has contributed a lot to decreasing my brain rot time, and it's great. And like, it's also improved my brain. I feel like, you know, learning new things, doing it like meditatively is just good for me and my brain, and I love it. I have now been yapping for 45 minutes. That's crazy. I've knit like a third of a row of my Dagmar. But if you're still watching now, thank you so much. If you have any like thoughts about anything I've said, feel free to comment or message me. I'm always down for a chat. In summary, you should learn how to knit. It'll change your life. That's all I have to say. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. I'm hoping to like spread out my vlogs and other videos more, because I don't knit enough in a week to be uploading weekly vlogs, but hopefully like 2 week vlogs will work out better. I've been trying to be a bit more consistent with my uploads, but obviously life just gets in the way. Yeah. Love you guys. See you next time.